If you're anything like me, you love summer. You love the warm air, the sunshine on your shoulders, and just the tranquility that the sun brings you. And if you're also like me, I live in Florida. I love going to the beach, and I just love being in that environment and just allowing myself to reconnect with nature. If you want a fragrance that brings you to the beach on a yacht, you're sailing, you're smelling the sea air, the waves are crashing around you, the sun is warming everything, it's warming your skin, the boat, let's say you have some fruit. This all comes together in the scent that I'm going to be talking about today, which is Creed Erolfa, which I believe is the best aquatic that there is out there. So if that sounds interesting and you want to learn more about Erolfa, stay tuned. So if you're familiar with the House of Creed, you've likely heard some of the really funny backstories that are just kind of outlandish and far fetched. However, this one is truly kind of heartwarming to me, and I can really resonate with it. This is an homage to Olivier Creed's family, and this is supposed to evoke the scent memory of sailing on the Mediterranean Sea, being on a yacht, the waves crashing around you, the smell of fresh citrus and herbs around you, just how the sun warms everything and the tranquility and peace that that brings. So, Erolfa is actually a mashup of the three family members of Olivier Creed. So, his daughter and his son and his wife. So, ER is for Erwin Creed, OL is for Olivia Creed, and FA is for Fabian. So it's a mashup of their names, and it's dedicated to their family vacations in the Mediterranean Sea. While I have never been to the Mediterranean Sea and I've never obviously been on a yacht in the Mediterranean Sea, this evokes strong memories and feelings of why I moved to Florida. I love the beach. I love being in that environment and just reconnecting with nature, allowing the sun just to bring me peace and feeling grounded. So this takes me there, and it's so perfect for that. This is just something that I strongly resonate with. So without further ado, we're going to get into the notes and talk about how this develops and why it is so special to me. So when it comes to notes on this fragrance, there's actually quite a bit of variance depending on where you are looking. Fragrantica says something, Parfumo says something different, and actually the House of Creed says something basically completely different as well. But for the sake of this, we're going to use Creed's notes because it's, after all, their fragrance. So the head notes or the top notes that Creed gives here is mandarin, violet leaves, and bergamot. The heart notes or the mid is tuberose, jasmine, rose, ylang-ylang, and neroli. And the base, they list orris, which is surprising, sandalwood, cedarwood, and I know that it doesn't list it, but there's definitely this Creed ambergris that just completely takes over the scent for me and is part of the reason why I love this one so much. So we'll kind of dissect that, right? So as I mentioned, this really does smell like the ocean, but not in a stinky way. If you like, if you've ever been to Florida and let's say you get to the beach early in the morning and the sun is now peeking in and it's just lighting up the ocean, you get this gentle breeze and the breeze is now going over the water and it's coming up to shore to you, and you just get that kind of oceanic smell. Let's not say that it's muck and it smells bad because it's not that. This is the beautiful part of the scent of the ocean. And the closest that I've experienced to that is actually, I wish I was wearing this fragrance, but I felt like I was wearing it because I was smelling this when I was actually on a boat with my family here in Florida, and we were just going out into the channel in Tampa, the intercoastal. I could put a picture here, but we were going through that. You know, we're just kind of poking around, going slow, and the boat is going through, and the little waves are going up against the boat, and you just get the ocean air. That's really what I get here, but it's not it's not the same ocean air ozonic sort of thing that you get in a lot of designer fragrances. This is so much more special than that. This feels true and like it's an actual representation of the ocean water, which just I love. And I didn't know that I loved it so much until I smelled this, but I've always admired that smell in real life when I've gone to the ocean and to the beach. So mandarin, right? Let's look at this, and I apologize for the kind of tangent there, but mandarin orange. In this case, it's not a orange smelling mandarin. It is a very green, just kind of herbal almost in a way, like bitter fruit with the violet, which I can see the violet in here actually, which gives it kind of that lift where it's that ozonic touch without just smelling like sunscreen. I know you know what I mean there. Sometimes violet can be used in aquatic fragrances, and that's kind of the accord that I'm talking about, where it's that sunscreen kind of ocean air thing, which I'm not too crazy about. This goes in a different direction, and again, bergamot up here too. So nice citrus blast, and it gives you a hint of this just air quality to it. So with the heart of tuberose, jasmine, rose, ylang-ylang, and neroli, that's florals and more citrus, right? Neroli is kind of a white floral that can give you some zest, but it's not a baby powder neroli. Like, for instance, I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. That I feel like gets into Sprite mixed with like fancy baby wipes, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. This definitely, I believe that all of this is in here, but I don't pick out individual notes here. It's just the combination of them all that is, like I said multiple times now, it's evoking this scent memory of just being at the ocean. The sun is warming everything around you. That's what you get with this scent. It develops in a way where obviously the citruses will kind of come and blast in, and they'll slowly start to taper off, but they never fully dissipate. I'm going to spray it on again to get the opening. I'm wearing it as my scent of the day. Why not? It's so good, guys. I love it. You can see I wear this stuff. It's one of my favorites. I'm at the beach right now. I'm letting the sun beat down on me. It's awesome. And if you don't like summer and you don't like the beach, you likely won't like this fragrance, but I have a hard time believing that there's a lot of people out there that don't like the feeling of just the sun warming you and making you feel like you're in the right spot. It's a peace and tranquility thing. It feels like I'm doing yoga when I smell this scent. Like I just feel one with the earth and where I am, and it's kind of a spiritual thing, to be completely honest with you. It's awesome. It puts me to that place. And it's blended so well. Like I said, I can't really pick out individual notes in this. It's citrus and florals and kind of a green feeling to it. And then it's kind of dries down to more this ambergris, clean, warm skin sort of thing. That's the best way that I could describe this. It puts me in that place, and I love it. So now is the part of the video where we talk about performance, and I just want to put this out here right now. This fragrance, Creed Erolfa, it isn't the best performer, and that's okay, because guess what? This is special. It smells good, and that should be the first thing that you care about. I'm looking at whoever is watching this video. I urge you, don't care so much about, is this going to get compliments? Will it last all day? That shouldn't be the first thing that comes to mind. You should enjoy wearing it because it's you that wears it. You want to live in that scent bubble. I understand you want to smell it, and this you do, but taper your expectations as far as longevity. If this had stuff in it to where it lasted all day and it screamed off the skin, it would lose its magic. part of the appeal and the way that it's put together, it can't do all of it. It's a trade-off, right? There's balancing. It's a balancing act, basically, dosing of ingredients and the oil concentration of things. If it was so dense and powerful, yeah, it might last all day, but it wouldn't have the same magic to it. You want that sparkle with this, the effervescence, the just like I've said, the sun warming the ocean air and the waves coming up. You want to be just in that area. And if it was any different, if anything was a little bit different as far as dosing and, like I said, oil concentrations, it might not be that anymore. And I wouldn't be making this video because it would probably be a pass. So, all of that to say that, yes, okay, this one doesn't last all day, but that's okay. It still lasts a really good time, a good amount of time for what it is. With all of that being said, I probably still get 6 or 7 hours of longevity on this, which I feel is very good for this kind of fragrance. Yes, like vibrato and bergamasque and things like that are going to outperform it, but they're definitely different vibes too. They don't do the same thing that this does, and that's okay because I also like those, but nothing is quite as special as this one to me. And it's largely personal, right? This is anecdotal, subjective thing, and you're watching this because you want my opinion. This won't necessarily translate to you, but if you value my opinion and you trust my judgment and my tastes, I really strongly urge whoever is watching this to try this if you haven't. I know that there may be other factors at play that, people don't want to support the brand of Creed and this, that, and the other. I get it. I bought this one. I didn't pay retail, I'll tell you that. I got this for $150, which is an absolute screaming fucking deal. And I love it. So anyway, projection, okay? This has a good push. Again, it's not an Orto Parisi. It's not followed by kerosene, nor should you have the expectation that it is. But it still has a good bubble around you. You will smell it. As you move around, the scent will come to life. As you heat up, the scent will come to life. And it will last a surprisingly long time for how vibrant this is. Again, on my skin, which your mileage will vary. We are different human beings. Your skin is going to be different than mine. Your experience will be different than mine. However, we might be close enough that you still feel the way that I feel about this one. So we've covered the backstory of it. I've gave my own personal anecdote about that and how it makes me feel. And you can tell, I'm sure it's coming across that I really love this one. And this will always, always be in my collection. And I don't want to live without it because this just brings me peace. And I think that's a big part of fragrance that not a lot of people talk about. Is I feel like I've mentioned it kind of, people are so caught up and engrossed in this whole, does it get compliments? How long does it last? Are people going to talk about it? Like, that fucking doesn't matter. And if it does matter to you, then give it a few years. It probably won't, but try and get something that makes you feel like it's a compliment to who you are. Like it meshes well with you. Not necessarily what is most hyped on the internet and what people are talking about as the best of this and top 10. Like, I might make a few videos like that to try and get more viewers here so I can kind of hopefully change the way that you're thinking about that if that is the case. But I want to talk about here and on this channel things that really I love. Or if it's first impressions, I'm going to tell you how I feel. But these in-depth reviews, the ones that I'm choosing to do it on so far are ones that I love and I just want to give the message out and spread my word about it. But anyway, I'm talking a bit in circles now. I appreciate you guys watching this. If you have any questions about Create Erolfa, feel free to leave them down below. I'd be happy to give any more information that I'm able to give as far as questions you might have. Or if you've tried this, let me know. Like I said, your experience will likely be different than mine, but mine with this is a perfect 10. If we're doing a rating, this is a perfect 10 to me. Don't blind buy it and blame me because you don't like it and you think it smells like ambergris, which could be really animalic, and it could smell like pee to you, whatever. It doesn't smell like that, but I've heard that. It might smell like that to you. If it does and you blind buy it and you blame me, I'm not going to feel bad for you because I said sample this. All right, so anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all if you've made it to this point. And again, I didn't mention this, but I know it's February 8th when I'm recording this, and it's probably cold where you're at. I know at least some of you, it's going to be cold where you're at. Blaine and Saga, it might not be very cold for you because you're in relatively warm areas as well as me. But as I'm recording this, it is like 80 something and sunny in Tampa, Florida. And I wouldn't have it any other way. That's why I'm wearing this. And after I'm done with this, I'm going to go to the fair. And I'm going to smell great. We'll see you next time. Peace.